Good afternoon. Welcome to the 2016 commencement ceremonies for the professional degrees of the Masters of Science in Occupational Therapy and the Doctorate of Occupational Therapy, along with recognition of the Rehabilitation and Participation Science PhD. We will start the procession around or before 1 p.m. to coincide with our scheduled time to broadcast the event on YouTube. A few housekeeping items. Restrooms are located downstairs. There are steps in the rear and an elevator and steps located here to my right. Please plan to take photographs along the side of the wall to my right, the north side. That side's blocked off and students will be assembling on that side, on the south side. At the end of the ceremonies, you can exit out either in the rear or the side doors here to my right. Each pew should hold approximately 11 people, so please provide space for others as available. There's also seating upstairs in the balcony. I'd like to thank the Graham Chapel and Media Services staffs for making it possible for us to simulcast these ceremonies. Finally, please turn off all ringers on phones and pagers. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the ceremonies. Shannon Eckhoff, who is our birthday celebrant today, is wearing the coral top, and when she stands, it will be time to rise for the procession for those who are able. Thank you very much.
You may be seated. Hello, and welcome to this beautiful afternoon. My name is Dr. Carolyn Baum. I have the privilege of directing the program in occupational therapy at Washington University. And in that role, I have had the privilege to work with you, our talented students, the exceptional faculty, and the amazing staff. Those three components actually have put us in a very enviable position because I'm not sure all of you know, but we were just announced as the #1 OT program in the United States. Because of this wonderful group. Graduates, it's my very special honor to welcome you and your families and friends. You are the 98th graduating class of the program in occupational therapy at Washington University. Today, for the first time, we celebrate the graduation of students from 3-degree programs. This is our first graduation for the PhD program in Rehabilitation and Participation Science. We'll award the degree of Doctor of Occupational Therapy and Master of Science in Occupational Therapy. I speak for the faculty and staff when I say that we are proud of you. We're proud of your accomplishments and have really appreciated the experience to have grown with you. I would like the faculty and staff to stand and recognize your accomplishments. Students, each of you is here today because of others who've supported your development, made sacrifices so that you could achieve your goal to graduate. We know they are very proud of your accomplishments. Would you please stand, face your families and friends, and show your appreciation? A former faculty member, who's now at the University of Missouri, who taught members of the graduating class, is today receiving his PhD in Participation and Rehabilitation Science. He is the first graduate of our PhD program, which started in 2011. Tim Wolf, would you stand and be recognized? We are also very happy to recognize one of our staff members who is graduating today with her Doctorate of Occupational Therapy. Dwana Russell-Thomas, please stand and be recognized. I would now like to introduce my colleague, the Associate Director of Professional Education and Academic Affairs, Dr. Stephen Taff. Dr. Taff will announce the student awards and scholarships. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Baum. Again, welcome and thank you all for being here for this very special event. I have the honor and privilege of announcing the recipients of this year's program scholarships and awards. First, I will announce the names of the 2 students who are serving as class marshals today, indicating that they were ranked #1 in their respective classes. Please stand as I call your name. The class marshal of the Doctor of Occupational Therapy degree is Kelly Lynn Taylor. The class marshal of the Master of Science in Occupational Therapy degree is Sarah Elizabeth Riso. Each year, the program awards the Excellence in Student Research Award to recognize a doctoral and master's student whose work will enhance practice. Faculty nominate the students, and a panel of faculty rate their work. I'm happy to announce that this year, Mason Miller is recognized for her paper titled Predictors of Disability and Quality of Life After Nerve Injury. Mason's mentor is Dr. Vicky Kaskudis. And Polly Durant is recognized for her paper titled Auditory Exposure in the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, Room Type and Other Predictors. Polly's mentor is Dr. Bobby Pineda. Mason and Polly, please stand as we recognize these great accomplishments. The program also awards scholarships that recognize students for outstanding performance and leadership. The Agnes Fielding Proman Scholarship is awarded to students from the Occupational Therapy program who show exceptional promise as an OT educator or potential for leadership in the profession. The students must also have demonstrated a strong commitment to the values and knowledge of occupational therapy. Today, we have 3 outstanding students receiving this scholarship. Please stand as I call your name. Andrea Esther Bennett, Courtney Souza, and Sadie Emma Walker. The Pi Theta Epsilon Xi Chapter Fieldwork Scholarship was established by the class of 2000. This scholarship was founded by students with monies raised through fundraising efforts. Candidates are rated by criteria established by members of Pi Theta Epsilon, which is the honor society for occupational therapy students. There are 10 outstanding students receiving this award today. Man, that's a lot. That's great. Please stand as I read your name. Randy Lee Applehans. Gianna Darnay Fernandez. Emma Ruth Grandgeorge. Catherine Therese Hydorn. Elizabeth Mary Heine. Mary Irene Kilbasa. Renee Elizabeth Kulik. Jenna Danielle Rebin. Lydia Rose Ryder. And Ariel Nicole Yarbrough. The Robert B. Somerville Memorial Scholarship is awarded to male students in the program in occupational therapy at Washington University School of Medicine. The award is granted to male students who have contributed to the program through student leadership, honor students who maintain a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher within the program, show potential for leadership in the profession, and also demonstrate a strong commitment to the values and knowledge of occupational therapy. Please stand as I read your name. Edward Thomas Arthur Deemer. And Caleb Joseph Crank. The Fran Cohen Memorial Scholarship was established by Fran's family to honor her. She was a 1951 graduate of the Washington University program in occupational therapy. The family awards this scholarship to a graduating student who shows promise in community health and community service in occupational therapy. The student must have demonstrated creativity in applying OT knowledge to people with disabilities and the potential for leadership in the profession. Particularly important is that the student must have demonstrated a strong commitment to the values and knowledge of occupational therapy, which if any of you knew Fran, know that that spoke to her exactly. Would Mr. Jerry Cohen come forward to present the scholarship? Sarah Lynn Adam, please come to the stage to receive the Fran Cohen Scholarship.
I was married to Fran for 58 years when she died in July of 2012. As you were told, she graduated in 1951. You'll be interested to note her tuition was $125 a semester. She practiced OT until a month or two before she passed away. She was proud of the school, proud of her profession. She was innovative, dedicated, conscientious, and hardworking. Attributes that'll stand all of you graduates in good stead, and which we hope Sarah Lynn Adams will follow. Thank you.
All right, I'll turn it back over to Dr. Baum.
I'd like Brian Godey to come forward to introduce the commencement speaker.
Dr. Adam Pearson was born here in St. Louis and raised in North County. He attended Missouri State University, receiving a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. He attended the Washington University Program in Occupational Therapy to receive his OTD in 2008. It was during his time as a student that Dr. Pearson was first exposed to the homeless population during a protest about housing downtown. After he graduated in 2011, he immediately began working for the Program in Occupational Therapy as both a lecturer and clinician, where he ran a program at the bridge at Centenary Church, which was a drop-in site for people who were homeless and food insecure. In 2014, he launched Safe Haven, a program that is designed to reach those who are chronically homeless and provide them with permanent supportive housing. While maintaining a great retention rate and participation in programming, Safe Haven is also in the final stages of being able to expand revenue at the site via Medicaid billing, which will enable the Safe Haven team to grow and provide more specialized services. This year, Dr. Pearson received the Gary and Bob Virgil Ethic of Service Award at the Gephardt Institute for Civic and Community Engagement here at Washington University. Beyond his career accolades, Dr. Pearson and his wife Courtney, who is also a member of the Washington University Committee, have recently added parenting to their list of occupations by welcoming their daughter Vivi into the world. Now, please join me in welcoming our commencement speaker, Dr. Adam Pearson.
Brian, thank you for that heartwarming introduction. Brian and I went through several iterations of introductions for me, and he shot down all of my ideas. The main idea that didn't make it, including him standing at the microphone, listing between 10 and 20 of my greatest attributes while the band played Eye of the Tiger. But I figured I didn't. Do you guys know how to play Eye of the Tiger, by the way? Okay. I won't have you do it. I don't want to get you in trouble. Okay. All right, we're going to move on from that. But I was glad to know that Brian was going to be introducing me. He has a bright future ahead of him, and his work in stroke rehabilitation for the medically underserved population will no doubt impact many people in the future. He is helping to fill a great need, and he is among our brightest, and I am happy to share the stage with him. I want to congratulate the rest of the graduates as well on such a momentous occasion, and I know it wasn't easy. But then again, you guys aren't here because of easy. Indeed, you are about to embark on a very difficult but rewarding path that puts you square in the middle of many people's lives who will rely on you to help them find meaning. That's difficult work, and I'm here to hopefully add a little bit of context before you completely loose the chains of student work and grab hold of your future as an occupational therapist. But first, let's talk about me. As Brian mentioned, I am a member of the Safe Haven team at Garfield Commons. All of our tenants are formerly homeless. Many of them were homeless between 5 and 30 years before signing a lease with us. I enjoy working with this population and have learned a lot from them, probably learned more from them than what I have learned in school. Our successes at the Safe Haven program can be attributed to a staff of very dedicated, hardworking people who want to help our tenants become more independent. The issues that our tenants have to deal with are interesting to me, and there's a bit of intrigue in becoming familiar with life circumstances that are wildly different than my own. My knowledge base is stretched a little bit more every day, and that's a good thing. Perhaps most important to me is that we are working on complex problems, as many of us in this room do. This is just a different type of complex problems, and it is the engagement in the problem that is what keeps us to task, that challenges us to sometimes turn away from the familiar to explore and implement new and better solutions to familiar problems. So I want to spend some time today with you talking about how to solve problems, but specifically, I want to talk about the first step in solving a problem, and that is how exactly to frame it and how to build a coalition and utilize your strengths and get started on a solution. Now, I'm not naive. I know you all have spent 2 and 3 years learning about problem solving, and I know that there have been volumes of works written on the topic, but maybe what you all hear today from me will be more of a recap of what you already know with my own interpretation of things. The first component of problem solving is identifying what the problem actually is and perhaps bringing possible solution partners to the fold. Part of working on complex problems is eliciting buy-in from stakeholders, and you all have no doubt learned a little bit about that in your final years. Great change can happen when you can form cohesive networks of people to accomplish things. For sure, this is a lot more effective than going at it on your own. And as the old saying goes, many hands make for light work. I'm a great believer in the often cited Margaret Mead quote, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world." Indeed, it is the only thing that has. But I think perhaps embedded in that quote, there's a clarion call for larger groups of people to band together, follow suit, and commit to the work themselves. In essence, own that work wherever you are. Own it. So there needs to be community buy-in. You need to earn the trust of the community and help them build an appreciation for the issues. There was a newspaper editor long ago named Samuel McClure, born in 1857. He gained influence during the antebellum and Reconstruction periods. Though his field of journalism is very different than ours, he said something that resonates with me to this day, and I still find it relevant in my clinical work. He said, "The vitality of democracy depends on the popular knowledge of complex questions." In his field, it meant using journalism as a tool to educate the masses. In our world, it can mean a number of different things. In my world, it means working with neighborhood associations and business leaders to address what questions they have about mental illness and homelessness. It also means working with legislative bodies to define the scope of issues that affect our beautiful city. In all steps, at all levels, people benefit from finding value in the work that you are doing. When it comes to issues of housing and homelessness, several complex questions come to mind. Questions that, to echo Mr. McClure, should be popularly understood for us to solve the problem. And the questions are as follows. Number one, what causes homelessness? Number two, what perpetuates homelessness? And number three, how can we permanently end homelessness? There are a number of other questions that one can ask about the issue, but those three seem to rise to the surface most often. So I want us to try something. In full disclosure, this is going to involve 2 rounds of awkward silence. This awkwardness may make you feel uncomfortable, but if any of you have had any experience in rehabilitation, you'll know that in OT, we specialize in not making people comfortable. I want everyone here to think about a problem in society that you think needs to be addressed. And I want you to sum that problem up with 1 or 2 words. For me, it's homelessness. For others, it might be voter ID. For some people, it might be that the Rams decided to leave St. Louis and go to LA. Not that I'm bitter about that or anything. But in all seriousness, let's take 15 seconds to consider what your 1 or 2 word problem will be. We will reconvene after the pause. Let's begin. That was a long 15 seconds, wasn't it? Now that we have identified your problem, think of 1 or 2 questions that, when answered, will help society solve the problem. Let's take 15 more seconds to consider your questions. One of the reasons I wanted to discuss the initial steps in problem solving is that they're so important. Creating the questions puts you in control of the discovery process. It helps you guide the approach to action. And in some ways, the right question can galvanize support and awareness. Your question should lead to discovery, such as, why do people lack food? Why stand in the street and protest? Why is it that payday loan institutions are only found in poor areas? What has made it so hard for people to climb out of poverty? Why is it that people with disabilities suffer disproportionately higher rates of unemployment as compared to the general population? How can we adequately fund our municipal police departments without doing so on the backs of the poor? And how can we add more jobs to industry even as technology advances? Asking the right questions can be risky. They can be controversial. Sometimes questions can challenge relationships and alliances. In the past, certain questions have led to movements. They've led to civil wars and revolutions. Some questions have disrupted markets and systems and cultural mores. This brings to mind something that the late Catholic bishop Don Helder Camera once said: "When I fed the hungry, they called me a saint. When I asked why people were hungry, they called me a communist." But if solving the problem is important to you, don't shy away from the questions. Run toward them with due diligence and deliberate speed. If the problem needs to be solved and you have an interest in doing so, take the leap. Which leads me to the second piece of the puzzle. Recognize your strengths and appreciate the supports all around you. I don't know about you all, but I'm a big fan of the show The West Wing. Do you all ever watch that? Some people. It is similar to House of Cards, except with more smiles and less murder. Ramon Estevez, otherwise known as Martin Sheen, plays Josiah Bartlett, an outgoing former governor and Nobel Prize winner in economics. He's the president on the show and is tasked with leading a group of brilliant White House staffers who are passionate about their country and their jobs. There's one episode that I really like called He Shall From Time to Time. Each episode covers a lot of ground and running storylines, and this particular one covered the White House prep for the State of the Union address. As is customary, one of the president's cabinet members always sits out or in an undisclosed location just in case something catastrophic happens in the Capitol building, and this person is charged with leading the rebuilding of the federal government. In this particular scene, the president greets his Secretary of Agriculture, who will sit the speech out. The president informs the secretary of what sorts of national security measures need to be taken in the event of a disaster. All the while, the secretary is soaking in this information, and a look of hesitation passes over his face as if he was daunted by the magnitude of the task ahead. Sensing this, the president says, "You'll do fine. People have phenomenal capacity." President Bartlett and his staff then leave the room, leaving the Secretary of Agriculture behind, alone in the Oval Office, standing in front of the large, resolute desk. People have phenomenal capacity. You all have phenomenal capacity. How often have we been tasked to do something that was greater than us? And how often have we been challenged to grow into a role or position? If you have not had these sorts of challenges before, I hope you're presented with them soon. You all have phenomenal capacity. But also remember that capacity doesn't necessarily mean that you will rise to meet the challenges, but that you can. Capacity is more of the if than it is the when. So if you fail, which you will sometimes, use it to grow, use it to expand, use it to get smarter. And rest assured that failure is necessary for success. But also understand that a group of people with a diversity of skills and backgrounds may be more likely to tackle these complex questions than a single individual. Use both conventional and unconventional means to connect with people who have the same passion. Maybe it's a journal club or a book club, or maybe it's a bi-monthly meeting of disability advocates at a coffee shop. Maybe you connect virtually through Skype or via conference phone call. Attend neighborhood association and business association meetings and find out who else in your district has lobbied a congressman or a congresswoman about the issue. Build a coalition with commonly agreed upon objectives and timelines for achievement. You don't have to go at it alone. I always enjoy meeting with students and talking about their future plans, in part because you all are so creative and inspire me to think about problems in different ways, but also because you all have unique perspectives on problems and how to address them. And I think in many ways, being a student is somewhat of a privilege in that you are temporarily insulated from some, but not all, of the major issues in society. On the other hand, it has to be sort of frustrating to know that you have a thirst and desire to solve great problems, but not the same support, capital, or agency as us working folks. But you're almost there. You've almost graduated, and soon you will be our colleagues and partners in the search for truth and the spirit of progress. So congratulations on making it this far. Congratulations on a successful tenure as a Washington University student, which is no easy task. We look forward to laboring with you all as professionals, and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you for making us take the time to think about what we really should be addressing and giving us the challenge to do that. I really appreciate that. I would like Aaron Murray to come forward. He's going to introduce the faculty speaker.
Hello, everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I do have the distinct honor to introduce a great educator and seeker of knowledge. She started practicing as a physician in 1996, has received multiple awards and honors, such as the Jacob Javits Jr. Investigator Award in 2005, the National Institutes of Health Pediatric Research Loan Repayment Award from 2003 to 2005, Washington University's Jerry and Bob Virgil Ethic of Service Award in 2015, among several other awards. She is board certified and licensed by the American Board of Pediatrics, the state of Missouri as a physician, also the National Board of Medical Examiners, and Pediatric Hematology and Oncology American Board of Pediatrics. She has 9 published articles in peer-reviewed journals, such as the American Journal of Medicine, American Journal of Medical Genetics, and the Journal of School Health. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Dr. Allison King.
Thanks for that introduction. It's an honor to serve as the faculty speaker today. Class of 2016, congratulations. You did it. You're graduating from the country's #1 program in occupational therapy. What an accomplishment. The years of hard work have paid off. The class lectures, the small group projects, the large group projects, the research experiences, proposal class, and we can't forget Janine's professional communications course. You are now well educated and ready to hit the ground running after your last fieldwork or apprenticeship. Hopefully you walk with your head high as you enter that last bit of clinical training this summer. Remind yourself, you graduated from a program whose director created the PEOP model. Your program has an Olympic athlete on faculty. Your program has been at the forefront of developing rehabilitation policy for the country that we live in. Accomplished mentors have been around you daily. Take a look to your left, take a look to your right, in front and behind. Those surrounding you are the future leaders of your field. You will be the next cohort of clinical experts in occupational therapy. You will be the leaders of rehab services. You will be the scientists pushing the field of rehabilitation and participation science to the next level. You will be the ones presenting at national occupational therapy meetings. And you will be able to say, he or she was my classmate. Just take that in for a second. I think the thing that will distinguish you from many of the other bright graduates in OT from across the country is your grit. Now, some of you who spend time with me know that I'm a fan of a person named Angela Duckworth. She's a professor of psychology at the University of Pennsylvania, and about 3 years ago, she became the celebrity when she gave a great TED Talk on grit. And for those of you who are not familiar with her work, I wanted to define grit for you. Grit is the combination of perseverance and passion for especially long-term and meaningful goals. Grit predicts success. It's different from talent. It's different from IQ. People with grit have genuine interests and a sense of purpose. Those with grit are curious. They ask questions to learn new things, and they take an active interest in their learning. They finish what they began. They stick with a project. They try hard, and they try even harder when they fail. They set goals, and they stick to them. And they keep working hard even when they feel like quitting. Do any of those traits sound familiar to you? That's grit. So each summer in our own lab, we have the students complete a grit scale quiz. This is out there on the internet in case anyone's interested in this. I like to have an idea of where the students stand or how they approach things when they join us. And then almost every task or project that they complete in our lab is really designed to reinforce the traits that we know of as grit. I assume when you join the program that you're already bright because you're accepted into an exceptional graduate educational degree program. But the thing that will distinguish you from others is your grit. You are the fixers of the future. Other healthcare providers might fight the disease, but you will be the ones to fix the person or fix the person's environment so that they can function to their maximum potential. Don't forget that because we're depending on you. So many opportunities lie in front of you. The field of OT is diverse enough that you will have many, many choices. You can be a clinician, you can do program evaluation, you could become the next community program director like Adam Pearson. You could become an administrator. But whatever you do, I ask that you set your bar high. Demand excellence. You don't need perfection, but excellence is good. Be resilient. Don't be afraid to take a chance. If you fail, learn something from that experience and try it again. Try something new. What would be your worst case scenario? As members of my lab would tell you, my metric for panic or seriousness is asking yourself, is somebody going to die from this? If not, then you probably don't need to fret that much about that problem. You can do this. You've got this. So my last piece of advice to you is to live your life with gratitude. Thank your parents or your loved ones who have supported you in your pursuits. Thank your classmates who worked with you on all those divine projects. Be thankful that you have your health and the opportunities to live your life to the fullest. And last but not least, I ask that you pay this forward. Take the time to mentor someone else. It might be your younger sibling. Maybe it's a child in school, Or maybe it's simply a more junior student or a peer. You have so much to offer. Share your successes learned and encourage another so that he or she can succeed as well. It's been such a privilege to watch all of you grow over the past few years. I can't wait to hear about all the amazing accomplishments that you achieve in the future. Just remember, you can do it. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Allison. For those that don't know, Allison's been on our faculty now for about 6 years? Six, maybe 7. But she has brought her background in medicine to make it possible to give our students the opportunity to get this experience and grit working with children with sickle cell disease and cancer, and she's been a major contributor, made a major contribution to our program, and now we're going to call her the Grit Queen. Okay, the students have selected their classmates to speak to you today, and I have the honor of introducing each of them. Speaking for the Doctor of Occupational Therapy class is Brian Goding. Brian is described by the faculty and his classmates as brave, determined, and a very goal-oriented person. I have to add compassionate, as he has done remarkable work to lead in the development of the Student Stroke Clinic, and he has focused his work to highlight and address the needs of those experiencing health disparities. Brian can be trusted to get things done. He wants to make a contribution. He has shown his motivation for teaching by actually facilitating leadership and change skills in his classmates in the management class where he was a TA. If you look at him and sort of think he looks like Clark Kent, if you want to know the truth, he's Superman. Brian?
She just made my day. Thank you, Dr. Baum, for that introduction. It means a lot. And thank you to everyone in attendance today who elected to come watch us all graduate again. A special thanks to my mother, my father, my girlfriend Megan for their support today and during my time here at WashU. Over the last couple of weeks, I have been meticulously researching what makes a graduation speech great, because obviously I had no idea. I sifted through a number of speeches, trying to gain an understanding of what I could say that would stay with you all, even after the ceremony ends. Honestly, I wondered how many of you would catch me if I just simply plagiarized Amy Poehler's commencement address. Essentially, the speeches broke down into 2 categories. There are the your special speeches, which tell you to follow your heart, create your path in life, and be true to yourself. I think that's great, but I also think that each of you know this. Then there are the you're not special speeches. These told graduates, just wait a second, these told graduates that while you have worked exceptionally hard, you have also lucked into quite a bit. That luck referring to those people behind you, without whom you would not be in this position today. The speaker said, with this luck comes an obligation, a debt to the unlucky. I know you're thinking, more debt? Absolutely not. But this debt isn't something you cheerfully pay each month until you're 84 like myself. This debt is repaid by serving your fellow man. This type of speech resonated with me more than the former, and I'll tell you why. As part of our application process that we had to complete for this program, we were required to write an essay discussing our background and why we wanted to be an OT. The overarching theme of my essay echoes the latter of these 2 types of graduation speeches. I wrote that those who are fortunate enough to further their education to this point have a duty, an obligation to do everything in their power to better the world and the people around them. That lucky group of people has a debt to pay back to society. That's what I want to leave you with today. You are all special, truly. but so is everyone else. Consider how fortunate you are to be in this position you are today. Do not take that for granted. Make your impact on the world. Make the lives of those who aren't as lucky as you better. Make your family proud. Make yourself proud. Congratulations again to the MSOT and OTD class of 2016, and congratulations to those who've helped us get here. Thank you all.
Thanks, Brian. Speaking for the Master of Science in Occupational Therapy class is Aaron Murray. Aaron chose occupational therapy because he wanted to make a difference, and a difference he has made. He has acquired knowledge, professional knowledge, coupled with his personal experience and wonderful communication skills, contributes to his mission to improve the health and wellness of people with disabilities. Aaron's had a lot of experience working with this population as he's worked evenings and weekends at the Health and Wellness Center at Paraquad the whole time he's been a student. Aaron is a lovely young man with a mission, and we welcome here today as his classmates have honored him, choosing him to speak for his Master of Science in Occupational Therapy class. Aaron.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm Aaron Murray. It says that in your programs. And thank you, Dr. Baum, for the introduction. It really means a lot. So, like I said again, I'm Aaron Murray. My class chose me to give this speech, probably because they know I like to run my mouth the most. But seriously, I'd like to take time to express how I perceive occupational therapy. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put water into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. This quote is from the late and great Bruce Lee. I find OT to be a profession that is like water, vast and possibly limitless, with opportunities to form almost any environment. I have spent the last 2 years trying to grasp the limitations of this discipline. However, just like water, it's proven quite difficult. To me, as future occupational therapists, we need to maintain mental flexibility, fluidity, and clarity. I am beyond proud to have spent this time with you all. To witness a metamorphosis of about 90 students or 90 individuals has amazed me. For these minds to have opened up to the massive amount of possibilities that this profession holds sends a powerful message about OT. Ooh. At this point, what lies ahead of us is, of course, 2 12-week-long fieldworks and a license exam at the end of that. But besides of those inevitable activities, we do not know where we'll end up as therapists. So I say to all of you to keep your approach to OT flexible and shapeless. Flow through interventions and crash as an advocate for your clients when needed. Be like water, my friends. Thank you all for this experience. I have grown as a professional and as a person because of everyone who was a part of this program. I also would like to thank my parents who have supported me, and most of all, I'd like to thank my wife, Tamika Murray. She has given me the strength and motivation to get through another master's degree. And I am sure that all of you have grown in the same respects. Thank you.
Well, now it's time for what you all came here for. It's time to award the degrees, and I'd like to ask Janine Dallas to come forward because she will be reading the names. The doctoral advisor will hood the doctoral students, and Jess Dashner was chosen by the students to hood the Master of Science students. So,
Okay, let's get going. Okay. We first get to award the PhD in Rehabilitation and Participation Science to Timothy Wolf. Dr. Baum will present his degree to him. Almost forgot what that was. We will be awarding the OTD awards per lab. Dr. Baum will be presenting to Zimiston Catherine Amini. Juan Pablo Sa. Next is Dr. Christine Berg, Jacqueline Ann Bassler. Duana Christine Russell Thomas. Dr. Jack Ingsberg, presenting to Courtney Marie Mraz. Kelly Lynn Taylor. Dr. Aaron Foster, presenting to Catherine Ann Papa. Dr. Meredith Gronsky, presenting to Salma Hussein. Dr. Vicky Cascudas presenting to Mason Ellen Miller. Dr. Allison King, presenting to Andrea Esther Bennett. Gianna Darnay Fernandez. That way. Everybody down that way. Okay. Dr. Carrie Morgan presenting to Sarah Lynn Adam. Rachel Lee Tungen. Pat Nellis will present to Carrie Christine Ball. Brian Joseph Godey. Sadie Emma Walker. Dr. Monica Perlmutter will present to Gabrielle Lynn Hussey. Dr. Bobby Pineda, presenting to Kelsey Ann Dewey. Catherine Hope Ross. Dr. Tim Shurtleff, presenting to Mara Isabella Robert. Dr. Susie Stark, presenting to Akosia Acha Asare. And Dr. Steve Taff will present to Jenna Danielle Rebin. All right. Now, master's students, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Suzanne Elizabeth Allen. Tanya Andrade. Randy Lee Applehands. Melanie Marie Berner. Carly Elise Blakely. Paige Elizabeth Brave. Micah Andrew Brown. Katrina Marie Christopher. with flowers in her hair. Sierra Cherie Coleman. Sarah Rosalie Connor. Celine Damon. Lindsay Lee DeSutter. Edward Thomas Arthur Deemer. This was going to be fun. Okay, jump, Jess, jump. Good use of a dressing stick. Well, if that's not OT at work, I don't know what is. All right, this should be easier. Polly Durant. Grace Marie Meck Eisenberg. She has extra names. Stephanie Anna Fitterer. Felicia Bianca Fosi. Okay, bye, Felicia. Sarah Marie Graham. Emma Ruth Grandgeorge. Catherine Therese Hydorn. Elizabeth Heine. Dahlia Heller. Unbutton those hoods, people. Rhea Lorraine Hobson. Lorraine. Hannah Lillian June. Lindsay Rose Callenbrink. Mary Irene Kilbasa. Caleb Joseph Krink. Renee Elizabeth Kulik. Heather Marie Lee. Rachel Elizabeth Lehman. Deborah Ann Lockerbie. Maxwell James Lustick. Ashley Marie Madsen. Tabitha McManus. Caitlin Medley. Aaron James Murray. Ellen Mae Nunley. Elizabeth Ann Pesh. Danielle Elizabeth Rakes. Lydia Rose Ryder. Sarah Elizabeth Riso. Jacob Abraham Rosen. Another tall one. Sarah Lynn Rutherford. Mackenzie Lynn Schaefer. Jane Ellen Sesklafer. Courtney Souza. Daniel Marcus Spence. Elizabeth Marie Zimke. Catherine Ann Tenhaken. Christina Vance. Jacqueline Vugi. Brent Stanley Walter. Elaine Patricia Ward. Ariel Nicole Yarbrough. Xiao Wen Zhang. Congratulations, class of 2016.
Well, let's do this one more time. Will the class of one getting the PhD in Rehabilitation and Participation Science stand and be recognized? Those receiving the doctorate in occupational therapy, please stand and be recognized. And those receiving the Master of Science in Occupational Therapy be recognized. Aren't we lucky to have all these talented young people who now know they're going to solve problems and have grit, are going to be there to help us all and help us as a society move forward. You know, our society has some difficult times, and you as students have chosen a professional role to be of service to society, to individuals, to families, and to communities. You will have so many opportunities to serve as you are trained to address the occupational issues of people and to work across the lifespan and across the continuum of care. You are entering this great profession of occupational therapy when only 2 years from now it will enter its second century as a profession. You will have work. I know you and your parents are very happy to hear this. And you'll have many, many opportunities to lead. As you graduate today, society is facing the largest population of older adults in the history of the world. And we already know they want to remain independent as they age. You will have many roles. There are more and more children who started their lives with special needs, who need to transition to adult and independent roles. You will have many chances to lead. There are many workers who've been injured, and even more who want to stay active and productive as societies change and workers age. Again, you will have roles. There really now are more than 50 million people with disabilities and millions more with persistent mental illness, all who want quality in their lives and the opportunity to participate in their families, their communities, and their society. You have the knowledge and skills to make a difference in their lives, both in healthcare and community programs. As you graduate, know that the faculty and I share with you the responsibility to build the future. As I look out at you today, I see the strength of each of your commitment to the profession and those you will serve. I know there are leaders in pediatrics. So many of you are interested in the issues of children and families. Many of you will work to improve services for children who start their lives in intensive care units or by social circumstance start their lives with health disparities. Others will make a difference with children's families and educators coping with the issues of developmental disabilities as they age. And this includes certainly autism, a large group, but many other. I know the issues of children with chronic health conditions are going to have new approaches to care and development because of your focus to help the child and the family make transitions to independence and participation. I see some of you that are going to build new systems of care, not only in the U.S., but a broader initiative to support global systems and inclusion. Many of you are going to challenge existing models of care and build both new institutional and community services with those with mental and physical problems that will allow them to live meaningful lives and work. Others will help people recovering from neurological injury and trauma. Some will be leaders in helping those with cancer live meaningful and productive lives as they navigate the issues of survivorship. Several of you have become really challenged by the issues of health disparities. Your leadership will become vital to ensure access to people who have health problems and need your help. You will work to remove the barriers that limit people's potential for participation in health. All of you are going to help families and communities learn to manage those with cognitive impairments. And some of you will be at the forefront of using assistive technology to enhance their daily lives and helping people see the power of action and activity, adapting to new life circumstances. I know you're going to improve people's lives. Clinicians will be really at the forefront of new models. I see scientists who will contribute knowledge to the field, and I see some educators who will teach the next generation of clinicians. All of you are bringing new levels of understanding of the importance of meaning and client-centeredness to your work. You are the future leaders of the profession. I see all of you with successful lives, making contributions to your families, your profession, and your communities. What we know is you're prepared to take these challenges. We are very proud to have been part of your growth and are very proud to call you our colleagues. Please keep in touch, and congratulations to you all.